Ignorance to the law is no excuse. So today, I'm going to tell you about one of the most important universal laws and what you need to know to become successful in it. Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to the Manifest on Purpose show. I am your host, Kimbaley. I happen to believe that everything happens to us has a purpose. And to get exactly what you want, you have to align with that purpose. And a part of my purpose is to help you align with your purpose. Thank you so much for aligning to be here with me today. And thank you for spreading the news by sharing this with other people. Thank you for subscribing here and on the website at manifestonpurpose.net. The God in me loves the God in you. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most talked about universal laws. And just because it's the most talked about, don't mean that it's the most understood. The law of attraction. We're going to get into that today. But before we do, let's hear our forecast for today. Courtesy of Astro-Numerologist Lloyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. Just in case you're wondering, it is Wednesday, April the 24th. The sun is in Taurus. It's a full moon in Scorpio. Mercury is still in retrograde. It's a 3 universal month, a 7 universal week, and a 9 universal day. Today is about bringing unwanted or negative situations to a close. But at the same time, it allows the luxury of space and time to pursue those things you wish to manifest instead that what's been put on hold for a while. Additionally, with Mercury, the planet of communication, returning to normal tomorrow, so too are likely your affairs. Those under the signs of Aries, Scorpio, Leo, and those born on the 9th, 18th, 27th of any month are likely to keep their heads on straight. Once again, that is the astronumerology forecast for today, courtesy of astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. This is a powerful tool to have in your kit. Make sure that you go to Google Play or the App Store. Also, you can go to a star 8.com. That's ASTAR, the number 8.com to download the app. Or you can also go to Linktree/numbers and you. Did you know that the more you know about yourself, the more you can align with your purpose? You need to know who you are numerically so that you can use that to help you guide your journey. Go to Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com to get your numerology report. Get to know you a little bit better so that you can understand your characteristics, your traits, your personality. You'll learn about your true expression, the best days and months for you, and you'll also know about those times that you need to watch out. Also, make sure that you plan for the year ahead with your numerology forecast for the year. You can get your very own report detailing what you can expect to go through month by month, detailing what you can expect to go through for the year in general. You get to know when the best time is to plan things throughout the year. This comprehensive report is a must to plan for success. You can also get your compatibility report. Are you dating someone new? Or maybe it's something that you've been with for a while now. You need to understand that person as well as the relationship that you're in. Get to know that person through your compatibility report. And if you have a business, the business report is for you. This is an amazing report that gives you a cheat code to success for your business. Learn when the best times are for you to do and plan things in your business. Learn when it is the best time to promote your business. Align your business with this name. You can do all of that and more with your business report. Once again, reach out to Kimbaley, Kimbaley, to order any one of these reports. Now, back to the show. Believe it or not, there is perfect order in our universe. Sometimes it's hard for us to see it, but it's there nonetheless. This truth can even be proven through the universal laws. Today, I've decided to discuss one of the most known yet misunderstood universal law. And there's one thing that I need to let you know about universal laws. Ignorance to the law is no excuse. And I found that out in the experience I'm about to share with you. It was a weekend that I decided to go back to my hometown to visit a friend. It had been so long since I saw this friend that I decided, hey, let me go pick her up from work so that we can start our evening early. I decided to do that, and guess what? I got a little fuzzy on the inside, and I said, I got a better idea. Why don't I pick up her children because I'm also close to them, and we can all go meet mom at the end of her shift? That was a brilliant idea to me. So that's what I decided to do. And we decided to surprise mom with this. There's one thing you need to know about me. I love children. I really do. However, I'm a little stern when it comes to children. I hope that doesn't sound rough, but what that really means is this mama's got boundaries. So, one of the very first things that I did when I picked up the children was I made sure everyone was in their seatbelt. I did not even leave the driveway before asking my favorite question. Does everyone have their seatbelt on? And I got a reply, yes. And I thought, wow, we're good to go. So we get on the road and we go all the way to mom's job. We stop there. And of course, when the children get there and we're waiting for mom to finish the shift, the children even wanted to go in and greet mom. And I'm like, sure, just make sure when you get back in the car, you remember to put your seatbelt on. And I got the same response. Yes. So they go in and they play with mom, and mom sent them back out until she finished the shift. They got back in the car. I asked my favorite question. Does everybody have their seatbelt on? They said, yes. Fast forward. Mom shift is over. Mom is coming out. Mom gets in the car. And you guessed it, before I even put the car in reverse, I asked the children one more time, does everybody have their seatbelt on? Everybody said, yes. So I'm like, okay, let's go. One thing you need to know about the area I grew up in, there's this thing called roadblocks. Let me help you understand a roadblock. Okay, we were traveling on two-lane roads. So that means either you're going one way or the other. And there were times that law enforcement will come together, and those times are usually at nighttime, or those times would be during the daytime when they were looking for someone. But what they would do is they will send a team of law enforcement officers to a specific area. They would not let anyone know what this area was, and they would sit and wait, and they block off the road so that you can't go past them unless they check off you and your vehicle. So it looks like this. You approach a roadblock. You can't turn around and go back because they're there watching you. What you have to do is actually approach the officer that is standing in the road checking ID, and that officer will then take a look at your license, look on the inside of the car, and look around the car to see if there's anything you can be charged with. If you're good, they let you move on. If not, you have to stay there and get things together. Most of the time, this is the big times that they would issue tickets. Now, the reason why they usually did this at nighttime is they like to catch drunk drivers like this. So they'll wait when it's really late, when they think people are either on their way to the club or on their way back from the club. And by the time that you know that you're approaching a roadblock, it's too late for you to turn back. So we're going down the road, and I could see the blue and red lights way up ahead. And because I grew up in this area, I also knew the hot spots, the spots that were kind of low key hidden, and the spots that they would usually designate to create roadblocks. So on the trip back to my friend's house, I noticed in the distance the blue and red lights flashing above. I already knew what that was: roadblock. Most of the time, you get a little nervous, but I felt like everything was good. Everything on my car was good. So I was just anticipating once they check my license, I would be able to move forward. So there's one last thing that I had to do before I reached the roadblock. And I gave myself plenty of time for this. I asked the magic question: does everybody have their seatbelt on? Everybody overwhelmingly said yes. And I was like, okay, we're good. We got up to the roadblock, and the officer began to shine the flashlight around the inside of the car. And this is normal procedure, so I still was not worried. And the officer said, ma'am, why is this child not in a seatbelt? And I also got a little upset there because I was telling this officer, oh, I know all of these children are in seatbelts. He was like, well, this child right here is not in a seatbelt. And I could not believe it. I told the officer, well, I thought she was in a seatbelt. But as I said, ignorance is not an excuse to the law. He then proceeded to do what any of the other officers probably would have done. He wrote me a ticket. So this is the question I pose to you. What type of tickets are the universe writing you? Please allow me to break this all the way down, and I'm going to start from the foundation of this. What is universal law? I've been throwing that term around in this conversation, and in fact, I have discussed some other universal laws on this podcast before. The word universal means all encompassing, and I'm just paraphrasing. It means everyone that is in the universe, or everything that is in the universe, is impacted by this. A law is practice, rules, and what I like to say, boundaries. There are boundaries in the universe that we live in. One of the ways that I'm going to demonstrate through this is the law of gravity. Gravity says what goes up must come down. Every time something goes up, something comes down. This is the boundary of gravity. Sure, I know you've probably heard of gravity, but what I want you to take away from this is it makes no difference whether you know what gravity is or why it happens. It's still going to happen. Let's take it back to my example, and I'm going to show you some of these aspects through my example. First thing we're going to talk about is boundaries. The very first boundaries that I discussed in my experience is my personal boundary. My boundary was you are going to be safe if you're going to be riding in this vehicle. You are going to wear your seatbelt, and the law said that I will not begin to drive without you being in your seatbelt. This is my thinking on this. It wasn't that I was just trying to avoid a ticket. What it is a safety part of it. I want to make sure that if you are riding with me, if a parent is trusting me with their children, then I make sure that you're safe. And that is one of the boundaries I can use to make sure that they are safe. Now, let me put this spin on it. In the last conversation, I talked about the blame stage of consciousness, the victim mentality. Sure, I could have said, oh, it was not fair. They should have had their seatbelts on. But no, I decided to take responsibility because it was my responsibility to make sure that they had their safety belts on. I should have did that by instead of keep asking the question, I should have actually got out and checked. You heard me when I said in the conversation earlier that I believe that everything is for a purpose. And the purpose for that was to alert me that I need to make one extra step when it comes to situations like that. So it really did help me along the way. The next boundary was the law. The law was at that time and still is today that a child under a certain age must be in a seatbelt. Now, I didn't make that law up. However, it makes no difference whether I know that that's the law or that I know if the children are in seatbelts. It's the law anyway. So I am responsible for it because ignorance is no excuse to the law. Now that I've discussed the foundation of the conversation, let's get into this law, the universal law that everybody knows of, but not everybody understands, the law of attraction. And if you don't quite understand it yet, don't worry. I'm going to help you understand it today. And don't feel bad about it because let me tell you, when I first heard of the law of attraction, I swear I thought it was a magic trick. I thought this is cool. All I have to do is wish something and it will appear for me. That was just like pulling a rabbit out of a hat to me. But then I learned more about the law and what it really meant. Now I get to share with you. Here's where it gets tricky. The law of attraction is often considered a new age thought. And I think that I'm going to use a conversation to go into what a new age thought is. This law has been put into a category. However, we're just going to go past that right now and we'll get to that at another time. What you need to know is the principle of the law of attraction, simplified, is saying that like attracts like. It is really indicating that what you put your focus on, your thoughts, your emotions, will go on to create or attract more of that into your life. Sounds simple, doesn't it? This is where a lot of people get tricked up. For me, when I first started learning the law of attraction, I could understand what they were saying, but I always had questions. What makes this so? I went on to discover that all of this was a result of the subconscious mind. I went deeper into the subconscious mind and I was able to clearly understand the law of attraction. It also says that the law of attraction is closely associated with the law of vibration. And this is how. It is said that everything is energy. And I hope that you understand that because we talk about that here on the show as well. Whatever energy you emit into the universe is your energetic frequency. It's a frequency that you put out into the universe. What happens is when you put that frequency out into the universe, you attract a similar frequency. This is happening whether you know it or not. So let's just say that you're having a bad day and you go out with a pessimistic vibration. By law, universal law that is, you're going to attract that frequency right back to you. You're going to encounter experiences that attracts that same frequency right back to you. You can't get mad because it's the universe giving you what it thinks you want. Hold on tight to this part because this is where the misunderstanding comes in. Some people may say, I didn't think I was acting pessimistic today. I didn't know that I should go out with a positive mindset today. As I stated several times in this show already, ignorance is no excuse to the law. It makes no difference whether you know that this principle exists. It makes no difference whether you even believe in it because there's some people that say, I just don't believe in it. And I chuckle to myself when I hear that because I think to myself, it doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. It's already happening to you. It still applies. In a nutshell, the law of attraction is the universal principle that governs manifestation. It is how we manifest anything. Here are a few important things that you need to know about the law of attraction. Intention is very important because whatever you put your attention on is what your intention becomes. And according to Sadhguru, where there is no intention, the mind follows inclination. And that simply means that the mind follows the program when there is no intention there to follow. See, that's why you see people stuck in what you call a rut. They continue to do the same thing over and over again. It's because they have not properly set intentions. Their mind is just flowing off their inclination, their urges, impulses, the patterns that they have created over time. You also need to know that one of the most important things that you should be doing is mindset work. We continuously evolve. So we have to continuously tap into our mind to see what's flowing there, what's hiding there. If you're going through life with an unhealthy mindset, then you will be attracting unhealthy situations into your life. So that's why it's so important for you to start with mind first, to make sure that whatever you attract in your life is going to be something that you want to attract instead of these inclinations that have been already there. This one is a big one to me. You need to take the principle of the law of attraction seriously. A lot of people kind of moved on from the law of attraction because the area at the time was oversaturated. Everyone was talking about the law of attraction, and then you had movies and books that came out that kind of made it seem woo woo in a sense. It wasn't designed that way, but you have to keep in mind that when you are doing something for media, you have to change it in order to appeal to the masses. So it really made it seem, not just to me, but to a lot of other people, like a magic trick. This caused people not to look at it as serious anymore. But what I'm telling you is this principle is something that you should take very seriously. Because as I said, it makes no difference whether you believe in it or not. It's still going to happen. This is why it is so important to me, and I'm so passionate about taking what happens in your life literally. Speak it into existence is an episode that I put out. I'm not sure when I put it out, but it's something in the archives. You can go back and look at that. But one of the things that really gets me, I mean, it really makes me cringe when I hear it, is when people tell jokes about themselves or they say negative things and they kind of laugh it off like it's funny. But what a lot of people don't understand is that the subconscious mind cannot take a joke. The things that you say, the environment you in, all of those things will go on to create impressions to the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind has no time to try to figure out why you're thinking the way you're thinking. It's just going to act off the commands that you are given to it. It even goes the same for the things that you intake into your life. These things that you're picking up on media, those things rub off also. And I say rub off, but what I really mean is these things make an impression on the subconscious mind that is very real. So whether you consider it to be real or fake, the subconscious mind sees it as reality. So please, please be careful at your intake and the things that you output, what you allow to come into your space to change your frequency, and the frequency that you're putting out into the universe, because those things are the things that will attract. Whether you know it, understand this principle, or even care about this principle or not. Of course, being the manifestation enthusiast I am, I could go on and on about this topic, but this last topic is a very important one to me too. And I want to make this the last topic because this is something that I want you to think deeply about. You are the perfect manifester. You're already attracting and manifesting. Let me give you an example because somebody may not believe me. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now, the most simple thing to gather from that is that you're listening. But other than the fact that you're listening, you're also manifesting. That means that there's something that you're hearing here today that may go on to manifest in your life in some shape, form, or fashion. Whatever you're doing right now is manifesting something else for a later time. And that later time may not be as late as what you think it is. That's why it's so important to be careful of your intake. So, today we discuss some things that can help you grow along the way. Don't entertain discussions where you are not able to grow from because you are always manifesting. You don't have to try to do it, it's already natural because it's already a universal law. It's order in this universe. Whether you can believe that or not is up to you. Same situation and experience when I was in that car. I'm sure the answer that I gave the officer, that I believed that the children were actually in the seatbelt, is probably an answer that he had been hearing all night long. But guess what? It didn't help me at all because ignorance is no excuse to the law. Our world, our universe is governed by universal laws, laws that can't be broken. It's so unfortunate that not everybody know about these laws or that not everybody can believe in them. But whether they know or believe in them or not, they are still governed by these laws. It's just like gravity. What goes up must come down. That was a fact before I even knew or learned anything about that principle. The law of attraction. Like attracts like. Whatever vibrational frequency you put out into the universe is the frequency that you're going to attract back to you. As the poet Rumi said, what you're seeking is seeking you. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.